Hey, casual tutorial time, new room. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the Kamikaze mount because there are a lot of tutorial series that cover it, but only show you one way to do it, and it's not the easiest way. And it'll also be a good way to transition into the last few episodes of this season of this show because it's related to the stuff I want to cover after this. So anyway, let's start with the basic way that it's usually taught. And it's the way that's done in the trick Kamikaze. So that's a miss. You won't land there. So I'll try that again. There. Okay? So the way you do that, you start in the Houdini mount. That's thumb, index, index. You pop it up into the top string. You then let go with your thumb. And then you want to make sure you land back on this front string. And each one of those steps is pretty difficult. Okay? Yeah, they're all difficult in different ways. So that's why, don't think this is necessarily the best way to teach to get into this mount. Like, it's one that you should learn because it's important and it's cool, but it's hard. Okay? The things that I find are most important is each of those three things I mentioned. You have to throw the yo-yo up towards that string. You have to let go with your thumb when the timing's right. And then I usually miss it to the back, so what you have to do is you make sure you push everything forward so that it lands on that string. I'm calling that front string. So I find that I basically have to push everything forward to get that to work. So those are the things that are important for me anyway. So pop it up, you let go such that the string will go around the bearing, and then you land it on the front. Okay, that's the normal way it's taught. There are lots of tutorials for that. But the easiest way to get into this mount, which I think you'll appreciate, get into the Houdini mount like you know how to do. You roll the yo-yo over that finger, let go of your thumb, and you're there. It's way easier, right? So to repeat, let's see. Houdini mount, roll over. I usually bounce on that side and then you're there. It's much easier if you want to learn the mount but you're having trouble with that pop. You can do that sort of as a stopgap. It's a good way to learn how to do it. You might even find ways to make that useful in the rest of your yo-yoing, since it is, in my opinion, it doesn't even look that bad. It makes sense to do that. And it has it has a different sense of flow compared to the normal way. So that's a good one to know. And now I'm going to cover 3 other ways that are popular to get into it. 2 of them, if you follow the series carefully, you've seen before, and they are from hugs. So, I am having an off day, aren't I? So anyway, 1.5 mount. Take this finger over, make sure you get this into the gap. And then I usually bounce on that side, but it's not necessary. And then you roll. And so, repeat that, 1.5, bring this around, and you're there. Okay? And the other way to do it is a hug to the other side. And the way that you usually see that done is from there. Usually you roll in again. You then make sure that string gets into the gap. Swing her over there. So to repeat all of that. There. Roll. Yeah, I'm not great at this one. You roll. There. And I'm not great at that. That's one that we'll have to watch other people do better than I can, but that is one you see pretty often. It's a good one to learn. You should learn it. And the last of the basic ways to get into it that you see a lot of people use is that you can whip into it. I'm not great at whips, but the basic idea is that you whip like that. Yeah, I'm not great at that. I don't really practice it, so yeah. The basic idea is that you have this on the trapeze, you pinch on this side, and the slack is forming over your index finger. Sort of see the loop there, and you're basically draping the loop into the gap like that. But in order to get it to work, you know, want to get the whole motion going. You know, yeah, I'm not great at it, but it's a good one to know. You can find some tutorials for that. What you can find is that basically you want to aim for that bit of string to hit sort of the space between the string coming straight up and the sidewall of the yo-yo. So, sort of like that. That's sort of, if you aim at some point between, at some angle between this vertical line and the sidewall of the yo-yo, basically one of those two things will funnel the string into the gap. So that's basically what you want to aim for. You're going sort of at an angle, sort of down and forward into the gap, I find. Or, yeah, kind of like that. So that'll be one to practice. Now, I'm not great at those, but those are the basic ways to do it. Just as sort of, just a little sort of thing that I don't know if anyone else talks about it, but it's one that I've found, is that from the wrist mount, if you hop onto the front string instead, so, and then bring everything around, that is the Kamikaze mount. So, Kamikaze mount, if you bring this hand through, wrist mount. So, that's cool. Those two mounts are related. If you didn't know about that, now you do. That's cool. Now I'm going to cover a few dismounts and a few interesting things you can do from the Kamikaze mount. The main thing the Kamikaze mount is known for is speed tricks, so you can just, you know, practice doing that roll, and that's kind of a good place to start sort of just getting your muscle memory down. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing worth pointing out that you can practice is that you start from there, you can do sort of a hop up like that. Also, when you do a hop up like that, you can cross your arms like that. So that's something to consider trying to figure out. We'll cover this more in detail in a future episode. Also related to those sorts of popping up things, you can do what's called a clover pop, where you hop the yo-yo straight up, and then you use your thumb to grab the string coming off of your yo-yo finger, and you end up back in the Houdini mount. So that's called clover pop from the trick Red Clover. Red Clover is a good trick. You should probably learn it because it's good. So now I'll cover a few dismounts. Anyway, so from there, sort of most obvious dismount is just to drop everything. It's a basic, you know, sort of normal linear mount, so you're not going to end up with a knot or anything. It just works out, so that's good. Another way that you can do it, sort of from there, if you kind of reverse that motion that I was showing you, so roll over your throw hand like that, then let go of everything with this index finger, then you're in a trapeze, do whatever you want. So just repeat that, like that. Okay. And, you know, things like that tend to be ways that you can get out of it. So, for example, if you roll over there, then let go of everything, you're on a double on, that sort of stuff. You can, let's see, if you know what you're doing, and I certainly don't know what I'm doing, you could say, for example, you know, do some sort of twist or hug to get out of it. I haven't studied it enough, so that's going to be one to, you know, you can study on your own. And then other ones that you sometimes see is you can sort of get into this sort of this modified double or nothing mount, and then let go of things. Good. So anyway, just to summarize all of those basic dismounts, the basic idea is usually that you're trying to let go of everything and then unwrap everything that's wrapped up because you were in the mount. And so often that'll just be letting go like that, or say for example, letting go like that. Or if you want to have a bearing wrap, you're letting go like that. Yeah. And so anyway, I guess the long and short of it is that the Kamikaze mount is a classic mount that you should learn because it's good for speed combos, is mostly what it's good for. It's also used in a lot of well-known classic tricks. There are a bunch of ways to get into it, some of which are not even too hard. Anyway, if you like the show, let me know. If there's things that I should do to improve, let me know. Subscribe and like if you do that sort of stuff. Leave comments on YouTube and Reddit. And if you have been enjoying the show, if you've been watching it, thanks.